Guys, this was one of the best My Hero Academia episodes I've watched in a very long time.
Yes, sir!
Studio Bones really cooked with this episode. They went 2 for 2, and it looks like this season is shaping up to be one of the best ones yet. But let's pick up where we left off. The #1 hero of the USA, Star and Stripes, came to Japan to back All Might and the other heroes in their fight against All For One and Shigaraki. But All For One, being the epitome of biblical greed, wants to steal her reality warping quirk New Order. So he sent out Shigaraki to go and rob her of it. But Shiggy really needs some therapy because he's having an identity crisis. He's currently fusing with All For One. So Star and Stripes starts duking it out with Shigaraki, and for the most part it looked like she was winning, but Shigaraki has plot armor, so she literally airbends an avatar form of herself and uses a laser spear to attack him and cause America to send over some nukes, Oppenheimer style, to finish off Shigaraki once and for all. Star plans to use the power of those missiles to end Shigaraki because the lasers aren't enough to hurt him. As the missiles arrive, Star and Stripes lets go of the laser and imposes a rule on them, while the Air Force bros try to hold off Shigaraki by shooting at him. Star and Stripes uses a missile punch on Shigaraki, and holy shit, that looked freaking amazing. You know, I have to say, Studio Bones really stepped up their game with that scene because this was epic in the manga, but seeing it animated took this scene to a whole nother level. That was Star's ultimate attack on Shigaraki, but she counted him out too easily. Shigaraki survived the attack, and the way he did it was that he used the Nomu as a decoy to fool them so that they could attack it. Because Star used 2 orders with her quirk, the first on herself to create her air kaiju avatar, and the second to use the laser spear. The second she released the laser and switched her rule to hold onto the missiles was when Shigaraki used Decay to bury himself into the ground to protect himself from the attack. As much as I hate All For One's character, his battle IQ is off the charts when it comes to his knowledge of quirks. And notice I said All For One because this isn't Shigaraki, at least not fully. You know what's mad? When Star and Stripes met Shigaraki and All For One, she already had the rundown on his powers and abilities, but it's kind of funny how none of them thought that he could just decay the ground to hide himself. Maybe if Star was lower to the ocean, she could have imposed a rule on it or something. Shiggy jumps straight towards Star and Stripes, and bro's getting all turned on and shit, and he finally does it. He touches her face and he starts stealing her quirk. Star tries to use an order on herself to stop decaying, but it doesn't work because she can't use her quirk while it's being stolen at the same time. Shiggy finally steals the quirk and tries to use it, but Star and Stripes' vestige within All For One tells him, "I'm not stuck in here with you, you're stuck in here with me." Shigaraki starts getting jumped by his own quirks on the inside.
That fuck 'em up. I'ma do my stuff. Why you trolling like a bitch? Ain't you tired?
And this shit had me rolling, bro. Man looked like he was popping and locking. Turns out Star and Stripes' last resort was to add an order to her own quirk itself for it to destroy itself as well as some of All For One's quirks. Star and Stripes is a true hero, man. Not only did she sacrifice herself, but she really went out guns blazing to try and weaken Shigaraki and All For One to give the Japanese heroes a chance. She was so smart using New Order to rebel against the other quirks because it created a fucked up situation for All For One and Shiggy because they can only give or take quirks. Farewell to Star and Stripes, you did God's work, you will be missed. Shigaraki's body is getting messed up from New Order and bro's getting fried like Armin from those lasers, so he decides that he needs to give the quirk to someone else, so he flies away using the Nomu's wing quirk. Shigaraki crashes into a random house looking like a Shikigami from Death Note, and this dumbass tries to give New Order to someone else, but he can't because of New Order's rule, which destroys his body even more. Comparing my experience of reading the manga and watching the anime did a far better job at making Star and Stripes not feel like a joke, because yeah, she was only in 2 episodes, but in the manga she felt very underused and her whole introduction felt a bit inconsequential. Compared that to the anime, you could really feel the impact that her character already had in this season. She not only gave All For One Shiggy his hardest fight, but she destroyed All For One's plans of stealing her quirk. She weakened him, making it easier for the other heroes to beat him. Like, having a good anime adaptation that elevates the source material really goes a long way in how you enjoy a series, real talk. She almost beat a 98% powered Shigaraki, let that sink in. Bro, she really made All Might proud. The Air Force bros all made it back alive to relay the information that they gathered from the Shigaraki fight. The next day, All Might informs his child soldiers areas, Class 1A, that Shigaraki won't be able to move for a week as a result from his fight with Star and Stripes. So All Might tells his students that they better be in the gym pumping the iron, because after next week they're going to war again, not just against All For One and Shiggy, but against Vampire Girl, Burnt Steak, Frankenstein's monsters, and the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. This man All Might is really out here telling children to go out and fight against monsters and the literal god, really thinking that they're gonna win.
You're so dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
Bro, this man has no shame, no guilt. This is irresponsibility and incompetence of the highest order. I understand that this man is the symbol of peace and he serves as a pillar of hope for hero society, but bruh, come on. In the last war, neither the heroes or the villains won. That was a draw, and Shigaraki was at 75% power. This man is trying to motivate the UA students that if they really train hard enough, they can win. Have a little bit of honesty, All Might, would you? But in all seriousness, the heroes have no other choice but to enlist the help of the students to fight against the forces of evil. Since their forces are scattered, they need all the help they can get. At least this is a good chance for all of the UA students to refine their abilities and to create new super moves to use against the villains. More importantly, this is great for Deku to continue training One For All and to hopefully unlock his final quirk and master it. We will see where the power of friendship takes Class 1A this season. Guys, this was a great episode, man. I'm seriously blown away by how much care that Studio Bones put into this, especially with the animation. This was one of the best fights in the manga, and they certainly put the budget in the episode to make it one of the standouts in the anime. This really gives me hope for some of the bigger fights that we will see this season, only if Studio Bones can maintain this consistency. Guys, let me know what you thought of this episode, what you thought of Star and Stripes' character, and this whole fight in general. I also want to make a correction from something I said in my last video. This season is actually confirmed to be 21 episodes if you don't include the memories episodes. Like, who seriously watched those, am I right? This season is covering the final arc, but it isn't the final season. If it was, Bones would probably promote it more. Once this season is done, we'll be very close to where the manga is currently, so they had to make full recap episodes as filler. Thank you to everyone who took out the time to watch this video. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment your thoughts down below. Also, check out the links in my description if you want to cop any anime action figures. And until next week, stay blessed.